What are your expectations from the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman? What are you expecting from the interim budget 2024?
Good morning to all the audience of XTV. Friends, yesterday I was in Parliament and hearing speech of our Honorable President. In that speech, he emphasized upon four things, which are the pillars of our democracy, pillars of our country. The number one point was youth. Second, she was talking about women. Third, Kisan. And fourth, Mazdoor. So my expectation today from the budget is that for youth, is government considering employment? I hope in this budget, government will put full emphasis upon how to give employment to each and every youth. So that's my expectations from that, the budget today. And secondly, we have seen in recent time, spend on education sector, which also take care of the youth requirements, is not going as per the inflation even in the higher education sector. So my expectation will be to take care of youth. The government this time will give a very good impetus to spend on higher education in the country. The second pillar our Honorable Prime Minister talked about was women, which is rightly so. But we have seen Indian woman does not have financial independence. That is her weakest point at the moment, and the male community sometimes dominates upon her and creates issue for her. So is the government going to give some measures with which the women, all women in this country, will become financially independent? I hope the government must be considering this, because the government has already introduced reservation for women, 1/3 reservation for women in Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, Vidhan Sabha. So I think this time the government will do something great to take care of the women's financial independence. The third point mentioned was Kisan, farmers. And we all know there is a long-standing demand of farmers across country about minimum support price, that there should be law to regulate minimum support price. So I expect this time that the Honorable Finance Minister will come out with some measures, or maybe come out with a bill for minimum support price. So my expectations are that as far as the farmers are concerned. And of course, we see a lot of farmers do suicides because of the loans, etc. And I hope Finance Minister will give some relief to the farmers so that they do not resort to this, the last measure. Mazdoor is the fourth pillar mentioned by our Honorable President.
Yes.
But we see, are they living in a normal condition? No, sir. We need to do something for our Mazdoor community, the vast Mazdoor community of this country, so that they can live peacefully. They should not have any pressure. They should have reasonably good house, reasonably good location to stay and facilities to stay. The government is doing on that front, but I hope this time the government must be bringing some better things for a good livelihood of all our Mazdoor bhai. But a few things which were not mentioned by our Honorable President, but I expect is another pillar of democracy, which is generally ignored by everyone. Dukandar. I am a son of Halwai. I am a son of Dukandar. Always they are considered in a derogatory manner. Even the word Dukandari is used to say something negative. So I would expect this time the government will come up with some measures where the word Dukandar, the gali na lage. वो एक respectable word हो, and government will certainly bring some measures and some financial impetus to take care of Dukandar community so that they can also live peacefully. Another thing is salaried class. That's a huge community. 30, 50, 60 crores. That's a huge community. And we never talk about the salaried class the way we should have. I hope from income tax point of view, from other point of view, the government will take care of our vast salaried class, especially private sector salaried class. Government does take care of the government sector salaried class by way of different financial impetus, by way of finance commissions where they are given better salaries and perks, but normal salaried people are always deprived of. So my request will be that. Inflation, uh, though it has been controlled to some extent, but whatever is there, it's again causing a lot of stress on the purse of each and every person of this country. I think government will bring some good reforms to tame inflation further. Health sector, health sector, government has brought certain schemes, but again, we have 140 crore. We don't have much resources even today in the remote areas of our country. The government will do something big to take care of health of each and every person. Nobody should die. Nobody should suffer because of the lack of resources in health sector. So my expectation this time that the government will take care of health sector in a much better way. And school education. Again, I think the state government, central government is doing good as far as school education is concerned, but I hope they will add more booties to help our young, very young family members to have a wonderful quality education. So that will be my expectation from budget this time.
Okay. Also, Dr. Mittal, it is an election year. How much do you believe that will also, influence the budget 2024? There will, of course, be perhaps certain key outlay increases, certain key, expenditure increases made by the FM, keeping in mind good headlines tomorrow morning, perhaps. Every government would want good headlines, good takeaways in an election year, isn't it? There will naturally be politicking as well. Criticisms by the opposition today as well. So how much will the upcoming election influence the decisions taken, the announcements made today, the finance minister's speech expected today?
I will explain it in a different way. Now our electorate are very intelligent. They see what has happened in last 5 years, what has been done by the last 5 years by any particular government, whether it's state or central government. And so they take the work done in the last 5 years into measure while casting their vote. Second, and they're not influenced by the announcements made in the last budget just before elections. Second, ultimately it's a democracy, and you have to convince your voters that the government is with them. So even if certain measures are taken by the government to woo the voters, I think there is nothing wrong in that. That's the strength of democracy. At least because of that, electorate will get some advantages. Ultimately, it's a benefit of the society, benefit of the electorate. If because of the election year, because of certain things, the people are getting advantages, so I welcome that.
Yes, you are of course an MP, but primarily you are Chancellor of LPU. In that role, you interact with a lot of the youth. India is predominantly a young country, Dr. Mittal. What are the youth's expectations from this budget, from the government in general? What is the youth's expectation of the union budget?
Youth, generally they have one expectation that the cost of education should go down and the government should support their education. That's the one expectation which I already mentioned. And second, when they pass out from colleges, universities, there should be sufficient job opportunities available. There should be sufficient opportunity with which they can do their business or can set up their entrepreneurship. They can start their entrepreneurship journey. So these are mainly two expectations by youth. And if our economy grows, job availability will increase. And economy grows, entrepreneurship opportunities will increase. And it's happening reasonably in this country. But of course, expectations are much more. Youth expect much more than they are getting today.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.